I've always been what you'd call a light sleeper. Every little creak, every distant siren, it all registers. It's just how I'm wired. I live alone in a quiet little house in Ohio, the kind where the silence at night is so deep it feels like a physical presence. My nightly routine is simple. I lock the doors, check the windows, and place my phone face down on the nightstand. Always face down. I don't like the glow of the screen, even the faintest notification light. It feels intrusive, like a little eye watching you in the dark. So, last Tuesday, I went through the same ritual. The house was settled. The neighborhood was asleep. And I drifted off around 11. The next thing I knew, a low, persistent vibration was buzzing against the wood of my nightstand. It wasn't the short, sharp buzz of a text message. It was the long, steady vibration of an incoming call. I squinted at my alarm clock. 2:44 a.m. Who on earth would be calling me at this hour? My heart started to pick up its pace. A call in the middle of the night is rarely good news. I fumbled for the phone, my hand shaking a little. I lifted it and turned it over. But the screen didn't show an incoming call. The glowing green bar at the top read calling. My own phone was making a call. My stomach dropped. I live alone. The phone had been untouched, face down, since I went to bed. My thumb hovered over the red end call button, my mind racing. How is this possible? Did I somehow dial it in my sleep? But the phone was flat on the table. Before my brain could fully process the impossibility of it all, before I could even bring my thumb down to end the phantom call, the screen changed. The calling text vanished, replaced by a timer that started ticking upwards from 0, 001, 002. Someone had answered. A cold dread, sharp and icy, pricked its way up my spine. My own phone had called a stranger, and now that stranger was on the line. I held the phone to my ear, my breath caught in my throat. I didn't say anything, I just listened. For a few seconds, there was only static, a faint, hissing sound. Then, a voice emerged from the speaker. It was a whisper, low and unnervingly calm, like someone talking right next to my ear. It wasn't angry, it wasn't panicked, it was just patient. "Why are you calling me again?" it whispered. The question hung in the dead air of my bedroom, again. I've never heard this voice in my life. The sheer wrongness of it all sent a jolt of pure terror through me. My hand flew open, and the phone clattered onto the hardwood floor. The line was still connected. I could hear the faint, tinny sound of the whisper still coming from the small speaker. I scrambled back on my bed, pressing myself against the headboard, my eyes locked on the phone lying on the floor. My heart was a drum against my ribs. I stared at the faint light spilling from the screen, trying to make my limbs move, trying to will myself to get up and stomp on it, to just make it stop. But I was frozen, trapped by a fear so primal I couldn't even scream. The silence in the room returned, thick and heavy, broken only by my own ragged breathing. The little light from the phone seemed to mock me from the floor, and then, it happened. From the pitch-black darkness of the hallway just outside my open bedroom door, a voice spoke. It wasn't from the phone this time. It was in the room with me. It was the same voice, the exact same calm, patient, terrible whisper. It echoed softly in the confined space of my house, cutting through the silence like a razor. And it answered its own question, "You never hang up." I can't tell you how long I stayed like that, paralyzed, staring into the impenetrable black of the hallway where the voice had come from. It felt like an eternity. Every horror movie trope, every ghost story I'd ever heard, it was all happening right here, in my safe little house. The idea that someone, or something, was standing just feet away from me in the dark was more terrifying than anything I could have ever imagined. My mind refused to accept it, even as my ears told me it was real. There was no sound of movement, no footsteps, nothing. Just that lingering, whispered sentence hanging in the air. Slowly, painstakingly, the first rays of dawn began to filter through my window, turning the terrifying black of the hallway into a muted, less threatening gray. The sun has never felt so much like a rescue. Only then did the spell break. I moved, my muscles screaming in protest, and lunged for the lamp on my nightstand. The room flooded with warm artificial light, chasing away the last of the shadows. I was alone. There was no one in the hallway. There was no one in the room. My phone was still on the floor where I'd dropped it. The screen was black now, the battery likely dead from the extended call. I picked it up, my hand still trembling. I plugged it in, waiting for it to power back on. My mind a whirlwind of dread and disbelief. Was it a dream? A hallucination brought on by a late-night panic? When the phone finally booted up, I went straight to the call log. There it was. An outgoing call made at 2:44 a.m. The duration was 4 hours and 17 minutes. The call had only ended when the battery died. But the most chilling part, the detail that makes my blood run cold even now as I tell you this, was the number it had called. It wasn't a random string of digits. It wasn't an unsaved contact. The phone had called my own number. I had spent 4 hours on a call with myself, and something else had answered. I moved out of that house the next day. I didn't pack everything. I just took what I could fit in my car and left. I'm staying with my sister now, hundreds of miles from Ohio. I can't sleep in the dark anymore. I leave every light in the house on and my phone. It stays in the living room at night, powered off completely. I still don't have an explanation. Sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet, I think I can still hear it, that soft, patient whisper. You never hang up. What do you think happened? Was it a technical glitch of terrifying proportions? Or was it something else? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you have a story that keeps you up at night, I'd love to hear it. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more strange stories. Stay safe out there.